Really is fun for the whole family. It's the Sheep Shearing Festival coming one more time next weekend, happening at the Canada Agriculture and Food Museum. With us right now, the education officer at this museum, Arianne Richeson, joins us again.
Hi.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah, nice to be back. Thanks for having me.
Every time you're here, we're talking about the cutest animals possible, fluffiest animals possible. This time around, sheep.
Yeah, so they're cutest and fluffiest, and right now they're starting to be really hot.
Yeah, I can imagine. They're probably getting overheated with those winter jackets they have on.
Exactly.
How many years has this Sheep Shearing Festival been going on?
So at least 20 that I know of, yeah. And for that same amount of time, the shearer that we've been working with has been Ross Creighton, so the same fellow who's been shearing our sheep for 20 years. He's a pro.
What is up with this guy?
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky. We're lucky to have him. And it's funny because an expert like Ross can shear a sheep in under 2 minutes, an adult, which, I mean, if you or I were to try to do that, it would be comical how long it would take us because the sheep kind of senses, I think, the expertise, and he just has all the techniques down. It usually takes him during the festival a little longer because he kind of stretches it out so he can demonstrate a little more, talk about what he's doing. More
of a teaching. He wants to show people how it's done.
Exactly.
The process, how you handle the sheep. I mean, it's got to be, it probably isn't a very easy thing to do.
It's not. A sheep is not a very bright animal, and
well, that's not very nice.
I don't think any of them are watching right now. So, and they are just kind of nervous by nature. So it doesn't hurt them at all. He's very, very careful. But if you don't know what you're doing, I think they can be stressed. But because he's very calm, very confident, they're not stressed. He has a sense of how to kind of place them so he can shear, and he shears with kind of electric clippers, but he'll also demonstrate how to even use kind of older hand shears as well.
Oh,
so it's pretty cool.
Okay. How many sheep do you think you shear over the course of the weekend?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. We shear every half hour, actually for 4 days, because we have school festival days on the Thursday and Friday, and then for the public on Saturday and Sunday. So we actually borrow some sheep from Ross because we don't have enough at the museum to shear and demonstrate.
Because I've been to your museum many times, and I mean, there probably isn't that many sheep to go around.
No, so our flock is maybe about 20. So for sure, those are some of the ones that we shear, and we have a couple of extra animals like our alpacas as well that sometimes get a haircut during the time. Those are typically not done for the public because they are very big and it takes a little bit longer. Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at some of the fun tools that you brought with you here. Obviously, wool, and where would you like to start?
Sure. So part of the aim, I guess, behind the Sheep Shearing Festival is to just help people understand from sheep to shawl, basically, where some of the products that we use that involve wool come from. So it starts with wool, with the fleece, and this is raw wool. It has been washed because, you know, in the barn over the winter, it starts to be a little bit smelly if it's been on a sheep for a while. So it's washed, but then you can see there's all kinds of debris in here, right? Like hay and all kinds of other stuff. So this would be done mechanically now, but we help people understand how this wool becomes this ball of yarn that someone might use to knit a sweater or a pair of mittens. So it starts with carding brushes, so kids have a hand in really trying to essentially brush out and tease apart the fabric and the fibers so that it lengthens, it gets some of the big knots out, it gets some of the debris out, and the longer it gets, the cleaner it gets. And then we're able to show them also how that can be turned into felt, how that can be spun into wool, we have knitters on site that are showing kids how to try their hand at knitting. So yeah, it's kind of the whole process.
It definitely doesn't look easy when you use with these.
No.
that looks like it's a long process.
It's a long process, and it gives you a whole respect for what it takes to just make one ball of wool, right? So, and that's the point.
Okay. So not only sheep shearing going on, but you have all kinds of food demonstrations happening as well.
That's right. So I think we've added a bit of a culinary element because we are at the Agriculture and Food Museum. So we have a Chef Bruce Wood, who's coming in each day to offer 2 demonstrations. We've worked with him lots before. He's great. He's going to demonstrate really neat dishes that you can make with sheep's milk, goat's milk, and cheese, so that's a demonstration that he'll offer, but then people definitely get a chance to taste.
Yeah. Does it take a long time though for it to set and be ready?
No, he's pretty good about it. It's sort of like a cooking show in that he often has a bit of a finished product, and then he chooses recipes that can be done in about 15 or 20 minutes, so it's not a long demonstration.
Okay. And what is this about ice cream as well that's made with goat milk?
Yes.
Okay.
So we are ice cream experts basically at the museum. We do a lot of ice cream demonstrations in the summer with an old-fashioned hand crank, and so we thought, why not try our hand at ice cream making, but let's use goat's milk. So I think that's going to be interesting for people. I'm not sure, goat's milk isn't everyone's cup of tea, but we're going to flavor it with all kinds of fun things too. So
I couldn't tell if that was a sarcastic when you did that.
Well, it's,
it's not for everybody.
No, exactly.
Okay,
but I think that's part of the fun, is come and try it out and see what you think.
Check it out.
Yeah.
See what you think. Of course, you know, because it could be the best thing you've ever tried.
It could.
All right. Dog agility demonstrations. What's happening with the dogs?
So the Ottawa Valley Border Collie Club, they've been partners of ours for many years as well. So it's fun, and they set up a whole agility course for these amazing, smart, kind of the opposite of the sheep that we were talking about before, really intelligent animals. And they catch frisbees, they jump over obstacles. There's a whole course that people can enjoy, and that's really fun. Kids really enjoy that. So do adults. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be fun though to see if the sheep could try it? Like let the sheep loose and see if they could do the
I mean,
course?
it would. It would be a short demonstration.
Short demonstration. Okay, so this is all happening the 19th and 20th.
That's right.
But you have all kinds of stuff coming up. I mean, we're into the nice weather months. What else is happening at the museum?
So we have Ice Cream Festival that's kind of down the pipe. So that's July 15th, which is one of the biggest days of the year. We celebrate all things dairy and all things ice cream. It's a giant festival. Canada Day, we're open and we're free to the public.
That's
so
great.
Anyone who's never tried to come and visit and might want to check it out is welcome to do that, and as an alternative to some of the other downtown activities.
Okay. Busy. Memberships?
Yes.
Always available?
Always available. That's right. And it's kind of the best deal in town because it's not just our museum. You get aviation and space and science and technology for one price, and our museum.
That's a great deal.
Yeah.
I like that. And of course, you're in a very beautiful part of town. For people who don't know where it is exactly, explain.
Yeah, so if people know the Central Experimental Farm, we are kind of right in the heart of the Central Experimental Farm, just off of Prince of Wales, so 901 Prince of Wales. Often people say, like, oh, I've been driving by for years and didn't realize exactly, you know, that you were right there. So we're a working farm in the heart of the city, and we really welcome people to come visit us.
Well, Arianne Richeson, thank you very much for being here. We always appreciate your time. Sheep Shearing Festival is coming up May 19th and 20th. We've got more daytime coming up in moments. A very impressive author is next.